Hello, everyone, and welcome to Twillow Talk. And we are here today with Gerald from TarotStache.
Isn't it Twillowstache today?
It is Twillowstache. And I have the wrong thing up here. I don't have any up, as a matter of fact.
Hey, you know.
I did have it up. Somehow it is not up. There we go. We have Twillowstache today. So welcome.
All good.
So we have my beautiful co-host, Jennifer Jurkofsky.
Hello, hello.
And we have Gerald from Twillowstache.
And
or
who are you?
TarotStache. I'm Tanis Coughlin from Twillow Lifestyle Community and Twillow Lifestyle Academy. Now that we've established who we all are,
Yes.
welcome.
And if you want to change that, feel free.
I might change who I am. Can I do that?
Sure. Sure. I mean, there's always an opportunity.
We can always pretend, right, to be anything.
Yes.
But, the most satisfaction comes from being who we truly are. So,
Yes.
And it's all about authentic, right? So
exactly. This is authentic conversation.
we be who we are.
We be who we
All right,
are.
I'll be who I am for today. I'm always who I am, really. I'm a terrible liar, so I have to be authentic because I can't be anything else.
There you go.
So yes, we have a few people
Absolutely.
joining us here.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Hypnocity.
Hello,
Welcome,
hello.
Melanie.
Hello.
We have Kaylee. And we have Nine Worlds Intuitive Tarot. Kristen Louise, welcome.
Kristen.
Hello.
And we have Standing in Light with Annie Bear. Hello, hello.
Hello.
We have Tamer Canpalot.
Hello. Hi,
Welcome,
Tamer.
welcome.
Yes.
We have Free Spirit. Welcome, welcome.
Yay.
Awesome. Yes, I managed to find the Twillowstache one that I was supposed to put up. Put it up top.
We get there eventually.
We do.
Sometimes it takes a little bit of time.
Well, we're in full moon energy right now, so there you go.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this one is intense, folks. It is for me anyway. It's been intense for me.
Not like full moons aren't, but this one's in Scorpio. So we got some stuff we're working through.
Exactly. Yeah. So should we look at that? Let's maybe look at what we've got going on. So when we look at this stuff, your KP index, we did have some high stuff on the 11th evening. We had some up there, which was a 5, which is, we often see this color green. Sometimes we'll see this color green, but we rarely see this. So that's pretty high in terms of the KP index. In terms of solar flares, we did have an M class yesterday, which was intense. I actually felt that one within a few hours. Very clearing, right? It's all happening for us, not to us. The Schumann, where we have our ad that comes up, it's at 11 today, which is a bit of a lower number than what we've had for the last week. I know I looked at it yesterday, it was 69. So we've definitely had some higher ones than today. So that's where we're at with the weather, or space weather, that is. Jen, how are we doing for our transits?
You're
You're
muted.
on mute, honey.
Sorry.
Okay.
All right. So as of today, we're entering into gate 23. We're going to be there through Thursday. So we'll transition again on Friday. But right now we are in splitting apart and assimilation, right? And so this is about the elimination of intolerance. So there's going to be some things that we're going to have to process through, right? And processing through that emotionally with our moon in Scorpio is going to be fun. So we're looking at moving from the shadow of complexity to the Sid here, the enlightened state of quintessence through the gift of simplicity. So really being able to identify, you know, what is coming up for us. That victim state of complexity can show up as either feeling like we don't have the mental capacity to handle the complexity, or it can show up as fragmented, right? And so we could have that energy of trying to kind of figure it out by pulling it apart. And that often ends up leading us down those rabbit holes, right? So noticing if, you know, you're getting pulled into that energy, if you're trying to have to, you know, to figure it out in order to try to navigate something. You know how we talk about this all the time, that getting caught up in the mind and what that feels like and how that shows up for us. And so how can we move from that into simplicity without having to break everything down all the time? And, you know, all to try to figure out how to navigate that energy. And then, you know, of course, the quintessence, that enlightened state of it, is being able to be in that kind of purest form, right, of something, that ability to allow something to just naturally be what it is. You know, we started off the discussion today. Who do we want to be? Authentically who we are. Keep it simple. Right. And
They wanted me to show this card. Simplify your life. That's what they wanted me to show you.
There you go.
That's what they were telling me that, and I'm pulling it out of my deck.
Well, and that's it, right? So, you know, it's the peeling away of all of the goo, all of the stuff that we pile on, especially with our mind, that ends up kind of taking over. And as we're able to peel that away, we can get to the simplicity of it. We can get to that part that is just like, okay, I'm good. I know what I need to do, or I know how I need to proceed, or I know how I need to wait, right? Whatever it is that's showing up for us, but we get there in the simplicity as opposed to the complexity.
Well, and that pulling away things, that's a great thing to do on a full moon, because full moons are a great time to release that which does not serve us. So it can just flow away from us in the stream, and it really does help simplify some things.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And when we look at this idea of the full moon, right, especially with the energy with Scorpio and all, there is an element here in the simplicity of that idea of standing up for what is right, or standing up for what is our truth, right? Being able to face adversity, but not in a necessarily confrontive or combative kind of way. Being able to notice, you know, what is true for us, and then how do we hold space for that? So we're looking at like boundary setting and things like that as a component of it, because when we are able to step into that simplicity, there is a mutative energy to it. Yes, to dwelling
That's the
in
other
our truth.
one. Dwelling in our truth.
Absolutely.
I don't know
It
why
all
they're
goes
talking
together, guys.
I don't know why they're talking about the cards today, but somehow they're talking with cards today.
They're just confirming and reaffirming that this is definitely the energies.
Absolutely.
Indeed. Mm-hmm. So let's see what some of the comments are today. Scorpio full moon energy, yes. Kaylee said olives. I think that's about the card that you had. It looked like olives.
Oh yeah, it does.
Now we're on olives.
Very cool.
Hypnocity says she's been waiting a long time for some of what's been revealed recently.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah.
On a personal or a global scale. Hypnocity.
Wow. Yeah.
Melanie. She's a starseed. Here to help Mother Earth. Beautiful. Hello, Meta Maru. Welcome, Marita.
Hello.
We have Brina, 41. Hello, hello.
Hello.
And how are we doing here? We've got Best Chatters chatting away.
Mm-hmm.
Early Ritual. Welcome.
There's Tom. There's Tom.
Hello.
Work lurking.
Hello, Tom. Work lurking. welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah.
And Eleni said, oh, both. Yeah.
And yeah, I feel you on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I've also
Yeah, there's
found
lots.
recently, and I don't know if this is me or if this is going up for everybody, but I found recently, especially in the last, gosh, I want to say even just week, if not less, that there's been things that have been coming up again that have been allowing me to reevaluate my kind of take on it and see where I want to go, and being able to release more of kind of things that I've held on to and all of that. So I think that that is a beautiful part of this energy, because it's going to bring up emotions around things that maybe we thought they were dealt with, or maybe we thought like, okay, I don't have to worry about this or whatever else. And this is kind of like that next level clearing that's coming in to go, actually, you know what? Here, we're going to hold some space for you to go a little bit deeper.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to say I agree with that. I think my little clearing thing last night was well defined. The way you said it. Yeah. These things come up again, right? We're the onion. We just peel away at the onion.
You got it.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. And to what Kaylee's saying, right? As we peel away at that, the upside is noticing the progress, right? And how we're dealing with it differently this time. It's
Yes.
so valuable because, you know, and I say this all the time in sessions and things with clients, is honor every success. Even the things that you think are the tiniest little successes, honor them, right? Because they're going to show you all of, you know, how far you've actually come. Because, you know, we make a lot of progress, but we don't always notice it or give ourselves credit for it, because it's like, oh, well, it was just baby steps. I'm like, baby steps are what get us there.
Yeah, it's a bunch of steps, right? We don't just jump. Bunch of little steps.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we've got some stuff here. Let's see. Nalani says she's had remote views from 3 years old. Things I completely forgot until this awakening.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Very cool.
Nice.
Very, very cool.
Annie Bear says I found more healing in personal relationships. Beautiful.
I like that. That's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Being a Scorpio sun, I wonder if there's any ritual I can do tonight that is Scorpio themed. I lack ritual creativity, unfortunately.
Mm.
Well, you know, y'all, you're all waiting for me to go, you know. Well, Gerald's got Kristen Louise. I don't know. Do you have a deck of Star Rune Oracle cards that you made that you could maybe, I don't know, light a candle, put some energy around you in a sacred circle, and then pull a couple of those cards to go, okay, what is it that I can release? Or you could make something up to where what's the sting, and then how do I remove that poison, if you want to go with that idea of Scorpio. But Scorpios just, you know, Scorpios get a bad rap. The actual scorpions get a bad rap because, yeah, they're poisonous. Okay. So, but I think this is one of those things that you could pull some. I think if you pulled a couple of cards, what's the stinger, and then how do you honor that and work with it? I think that could be really powerful.
And you could add a burning ceremony to it.
You
to
could
help you release what it is that's stinging you.
Yeah. Well, and journal if you're up to it for the process, and that can be what you burn after, right? So you pull the card, as Gerald said, notice what's the stinger. What are the things that I'm maybe, you know, shoving under the carpet, or I'm hiding behind, or I'm like pushing aside that I'm not really letting myself look at, right? Because those are stingers.
Yeah.
Right. And the cards can guide you in that way. And then journal about it. Journal about how you're feeling about it. Journal about how you feel about yourself about it. Journal how you want to navigate that, what shifts you want to bring in, what you want to release, and what new space you want to make. And then burn, baby, burn.
Yeah. Well, yes. and also, I think there's an important part of it is what about it do you want to embrace instead of just
Absolutely.
relief? What is it that is, it's like, ooh, this is, in the right circumstances, this is really, really a good thing. This is not a good thing. This is a helpful thing. This is a very useful thing. So, and I agree with you, Tom. Early ritual. I agree with you and what you said about Kristen. So,
Oop, we've got a lot going on here.
yes, the best chatters are making it. So I love that.
I know,
really
you guys are awesome. It's
I've
just like
lost track.
flying through there.
Here,
Yeah.
there we go. Found it. Yes.
Boom.
Oh,
Yes. Awesome.
I pulled King Arthur in my Mists of Avalon deck today.
Nice.
Yeah.
Powerful. Mm-hmm.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. And just, I think so much of the work, even when we do like rituals and things like that, it's about space making. How can I make space for what I want in my experience?
Yes.
Right? Whether that's, again, releasing or bringing in or both. Or right?
Yeah. And here's the beauty of this is we don't have to completely understand what is going on. It's helpful if we can notice what's going on without judgment.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Jennifer has always said, I think many of us have said, but when we notice things, we suddenly go, that power belongs to me and I'm taking it back.
Yeah.
It shifts the dynamic. It shifts the power dynamic. And if we're splitting apart in gate 23, splitting apart, notice what is splitting, and then go, I didn't know that water turns into, 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen. I don't know if that's actually true, but don't come for me, YouTube.
H2O.
Hey, H2O, it works.
Yeah.
It works.
No.
And chemistry was not my strong suit, let me tell you.
But, and isn't there a people can correct me if I'm wrong, please do, and I know they will, but isn't there journey aspect of when you go into a sacred space with the right people, again for entertainment purposes only, the people who can protect you and help you do this, and what happens is you break apart and then you are put back together again, and they find those the pieces that aren't there or that are missing, or the pieces that you don't need. So,
like the soul fragments, right?
Yeah,
soul fragment retrieval. Mm-hmm.
Something like that.
Soul retrieval.
But also there's that idea that we're, when we get broken apart, we don't have to get put back together in the same way, right? So to Gerald, what you're saying, that idea that some of the pieces don't even have to go back.
That's right.
And we can get some new pieces in there as well.
I'm not a doctor. No, wait a minute. I'm not a doctor, nor do I play one on YouTube. But if I were, I'd recommend to all of my patients to like and subscribe to all of our channels. Not doing so may have no impact on your health. But hey, are you willing to take that risk?
Look out, folks. He's using the radio announcer voice.
Absolutely.
Welcome to Linda, who's arrived as well. I did catch that. And I think I've probably missed a few people along the way. Oh, we've got Garnet here. Welcome, Garnet. And how are we doing here? About the disco balls. Yeah, I had a disco ball post, so go take a look at that. It's on Facebook. Oh, Play Love Remember. Welcome.
Hello, hello.
Oh, there goes
Says
Gerald.
I just needed to hear that. Yeah. I love it, Gerald.
That's awesome.
Outside and then
I might have to go find the post now because I don't remember exactly what
I
it said.
just needed to hear that. I was just talking to someone outside, then someone else came over to talk, and I had to cut out because of her energy. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that happens sometimes.
it does. It does. And that is
Mhm.
okay, right? We have to listen to our bodies and our energy and all that.
Yeah. I'm a little high energy today. I did a video that I haven't done before. I actually shared with people the creative process that I do for when I am working on fabric paintings. And so some of the people here were there, and I appreciate that. So it's a very interesting energy to actually try and talk whilst I'm being creative. It's like, ooh, okay, this is kind of exciting. But it was fun. I enjoyed it. People seem to like it too. So just like, ooh.
Very cool.
There's the post.
Oh yeah.
A disco ball is hundreds of pieces of broken glass put together to make a magical ball of light. You're not broken, you're a disco ball.
This is the second time in the last 3 or 4 days that people have talked about disco. There was on a live, we were encouraging people. I think it was Friday. We were encouraging people to listen to ABBA and do some disco, and some people were like going, "No, no," and I'm like, "Okay, then just dance, move that energy around."
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's so critical to move that energy around. So.
Absolutely. We carry so much in our body, and we carry the memory of things in our body. And so to move the body around actually helps to break up the dense energies that we're carrying.
Mm-hmm.
So whether you want to disco or salsa or do the jig, whatever it is.
Even cheer dance.
Even cheer dance.
And we have Paul, who's joined us. Hello, Paul. Welcome.
Okay, I'm gonna take my fancy helmet off.
You're just reflecting thoughts. Somebody said a tin foil hat or a tin hat.
Oh yeah.
Garrett said it was a tin hat.
Mm-hmm.
And you had somebody up.
Annie went to make popcorn, and she came back, and you were wearing the disco ball. It's a disco ball helmet.
Yes.
It is for his safety.
Well, actually, it's for everyone's safety. So.
Well, you don't, then people can't project things at you, right? Because it just bounces off. So it's your safety.
Purple Elephant Deb H and I have these, and I actually think if it makes people giggle, all the better. It's like, woohoo!
I think it's awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's actually a visual that I sometimes will tell my clients. Like if they don't resonate with like the tubing or the bubble or whatever, I'll say, well, picture yourself inside a disco ball. Because then everything that comes at you just reflects back.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think
there you go. That's moving the body.
There you go.
Moving the body, and you could probably incorporate that into your Scorpio full moon reading tonight.
There you go.
And
you look like Captain Fantastic.
Nice.
And you are reflecting the universe.
There you go. And
oh yes. Tom, and this one.
Star Wars
R2D2.
And then Tom is like, when we have the tarot tube disco party, we now know who will play the part of the Hanged Man disco ball.
Yep.
I have things to say that are not appropriate for this But Tom is already thinking those. And Tom, you should really be ashamed of yourself, young man. I mean, if you're not laughing out loud right now, you really should be. You're probably in your work lurking, dude. There you go.
Oh man.
Yeah, it does bring it back to this. It also reflects what we need to see about ourselves too.
It does.
The shadow.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Which is kind of what we've been talking about too today, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I love that too. Like we talk so much about shadow work and the importance of shadow work and all of that. But, as is the case with everything, the mind makes things so complex, right? The energy that we're in.
Mm-hmm.
And it does that with the shadow work too. And then that becomes this like big deal, serious thing that we have to, overcome and all of that. And it's like, dude, we can have fun with it too. We can pour love into it. We can pour joy into it. That's ultimately what's going to heal the shadow anyway. It's not, the massive complexity of I have to, pull this apart and do all of this, bits and pieces and the splitting apart. It could be as simple as I can actually get some diffusion from this, some separation from it in that observer place by having some fun, right? And taking away some of the fear or angst around it.
And I am a person who all work is work. Shadow work, light work, whatever it is, it's work. And I think it's a really important thing to get excited about the work that you have to do, because if you're going into some challenging things and you go, oh yeah, I'm going into this, I've got this, I'm going to do this, suddenly you've got more power and energy. You have split apart the anxiety about it and turned those into these little squares of mirrors to actually go, look what I can do. I can reflect this to over here, to over there, to over there, to over there. You can heat things up. You can do all sorts of wonderful stuff with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So Mark loves your helmet. It's fantastic. And he has the matching jacket.
Amazing.
Now I'm sort of jealous. I'm just like, can you imagine that? It's like,
you'd be like wearing all mirror.
That would be protective, let me tell you.
And I can do this, and then that way I can even look more mysterious.
You can.
Nice.
And if I were to just sit here like this,
it would be an interesting show if you just sat like that. Because I wouldn't quite know what to say about it if you just sat there like that.
Just let me sit there like that.
Okay. We'll say hi to Ocean Garnet while he's sitting here like that.
I'm just waiting for somebody to mention the word fart.
Oh, well,
because we talked about that
last week.
That was last week. And by the way, any chance I have to bring that up, I do.
Awesome.
For those of you that missed it, we had quite a show where that came up.
Yeah, Tom is like going so uncomfortable. You're welcome.
You're a state trooper.
Yeah.
Oh
I think he's meaning shadow work.
Yeah. Well, see. Yeah. I mean, and again, Gerald, you look like some weirdo state trooper. Yes, that's the point. I'm trying.
Exactly.
I think that is hilarious.
True embodiment of the disco ball. The entire outfit. You're not broken. You are a disco ball.
I think you're a disco ball, but I think there would be more free will where you didn't have to wear polyester, a white polyester jumpsuit.
Yeah.
I mean, you could actually wear a mirrored jumpsuit. There's
You
probably
could.
that technology now. I mean, that might be uncomfortable and cause chafing. This is for entertainment
I don't know
purposes.
that. Yeah. I think there's certain things that would not feel very comfortable as clothing. And in order for them to be comfortable, they'd be very warm.
Yes. Well,
Like that looks like it has a lot of padding.
Talk about splitting apart.
Indeed.
This is what happens when I do a show where I'm actually pulling fabric and getting all creative all over everything. So I actually had to work for another hour and a half on what I was doing. So I was like, woo, got to do something with this.
Oh, wow.
Uh-oh.
That creative energy, though, is super powerful as well in terms of being able to do the work. I don't know, bringing in creativity helps us to do that for sure.
Yeah.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see that? Parts are eternal.
Parts are eternal.
Internal.
Actually, they're not internal.
They start off internal.
The Giggle Sisters, our new nickname.
Love it.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. Actually, it's also the from Greece.
Mm-hmm.
You know the Grease one where he's got that, he comes down. Oh, what's the name of the song now?
Beauty School Dropout.
Beauty School Dropout. That's the one. Yes.
I just
Where
want
he
you
comes
to know
down
that
with
I
that.
pulled out. I want credit for that. Everybody, you know, I can still keep my gay card. I got that one really quickly, so there we go.
Yes. Beauty School Dropout. He comes down in a motorcycle helmet that's all mirrored.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. And
awesome.
Mama Sushi's here.
Welcome
Who needs
Divine
a party?
Universe.
When you have that on, you can radiate the light your own. Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
you can radiate your own light. Absolutely. There's Mama Sushi. Hello, Mama Sushi. And we have Rossi. Welcome, welcome. Okay, well, we're going to miss that one. And
are you talking about lighting a match with our gas or farts?
I see what you did there, Tom.
And here we go. We're working at the creator when we create. Beautiful.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Oh, there we go.
Played one of the dancers from that song and a cheerleader in an elementary school version. Well, there you go.
I actually was an apprentice director for Grease one time. But our version, I don't think our version had Beauty School Dropout in it for some reason. We have Wild Raven Tarot. Hello, hello.
That is Bobby. Hello, Bobby.
Hi, Bobby.
Bobby, don't you wish you had a helmet like this?
The lions. Hello, hello.
Hi,
she loves your hat.
Thank you. And it looks so much better with tiny hands. Look at the size of those squares. Wow. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to giggle.
Yes, you did. And we love it. It's awesome.
Oh my.
Hi, Brian. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, Brian.
There we go.
Don't you wish your boyfriend was hot like Disco Ball Gerald? There's a song.
Yes.
There's definitely got to be a song there. I'm thinking that was a whole scene somewhere.
Oh my gosh. Jacqueline Anderson just came in.
Hey,
Yeah.
Jacqueline.
Come on in, Almost fell out of the chair sometimes.
Choking over here.
Oh, please don't choke. Please, swallow responsibly. I want to know what Gerald's money hand budget is. He always has new sizes. I'm not at liberty to discuss that, Tom. Let's just say that.
Yes, this gets me too.
But
Every
I
time.
will say, Tom, I see you with both eyes. I'm watching.
Oh my.
Crying.
Welcome, Amanda. It's
Hi,
been a
Amanda.
dog party up the street for a few days. I think they should all have hats like in Go Dog Go. Awesome. Oh my goodness.
No. I just wanted to say hi. Thank you for dropping in and
Thanks
saying
for stopping,
hello.
Bobby. Good to see you.
Hey, Matt. Welcome.
Yes. Hi, Matt. That's a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
So, yes.
You really are like
confirming
this
that
in
this
real
is-
life.
This is the all the time.
This is
the
it.
authentic Gerald.
Exactly.
Yes.
So isn't this
There
going
we
back to the very
go.
first thing we talked about? Be truly you all the
Yep.
way through.
Yep. Absolutely. Welcome, Linda. Welcome, Maria.
Linda. Hi, Maria.
Hello.
Task
Laughter
lurking
in
and loving the laughter emanating from my
Yay.
TV into my house. And
Awesome.
just tuned in, Gerald. Did you know there's a disco ball on your head? Thank you for the laughs. I really need it today.
What are you
He
talking
wasn't sure, but that's
I don't have a mirror to look at. There's a This is bizarre. Wow. God, I think I have.
I've got to do it like 5 times. I'm just gonna put it back.
Good thing I have a doctor's appointment this week. I can check with my doctor. Apparently, some people have said that I have a disco ball on my head. Could you please verify that?
Oh dear. Taylor Swift song, kind of literally, I'm a mirror ball.
There you go.
Yep. I'm wondering how much would the hat go for on eBay?
Well, like a lot more knowing it was a TarotStache's hat.
Absolutely.
Oh, there you go. Ooh,
There we go.
maybe
We need a mustache right here.
maybe I could have these in the TarotStache, merch store.
Ooh,
Sounds good to me.
That would be awesome.
Mama Sushi would like to know about your necklace. You wear it all the time?
This is I don't mind at all. This is my tiger's eye necklace, and it is the one that I wear for when I'm online, and in particular when I'm doing readings. It is a very grounding and very protective stone for me. It also, I wear it a lot, so it has all of that ritual energy and that reuse. So, but yeah, I've had this for quite a long time.
Mirrored mustache? Anyone?
Ooh, mirrored mustache. Ooh, I like the
I
way
could see that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I like the
Oh,
way
yes,
you
here.
put that. There you go.
Don't forget,
you're welcome,
don't forget
Mama.
to check out the store.
Yeah, awesome.
Need to get some more fun stuff in there. Oh, thank you, Annie. Superhero, villain, alter ego. Wait a minute. Are you calling me a villain?
Or a superhero.
Or a super hero, yeah.
Oh, mirror mustache.
Yes.
Protecting the best chatters near and far.
There you go. Mirror mustache.
Okay.
A superhero.
Superhero.
Awesome.
Wow. So, you're probably all wondering what this has to do with what we've been talking about. And we've just been spending time doing some energy work that really is going to actually help to split apart some things that are stuck.
Yeah.
Full moon energy, great time to release things. If you've done anything out in the garden, sometimes you've got to actually get the hoe, the spade, the shovel out and really dig, because that ground has just been packed.
Here's a question for you.
If I book a
Do you do
reading
special
future,
wardrobe requests for your readings?
for you, Linda, I would, and for anybody else who wants me to wear the mirror ball hat, I would happily wear that.
Amazing.
Beautiful.
So,
And yes, laughter is the best medicine.
yeah,
Absolutely.
but you do have to break that stuff up, because we're talking about routines, and we're not just talking about the routines that we've had for the last 5 years. We're talking about the routines that have been around for eons and generations. And there's a lot of talk about people, ascending, and a lot of energy work that's coming through. Well, yeah, if there's energy work coming through, whatever you want to call it, the work that we're doing is changing and shifting. The fact that you're here and you're giggling now means you've done something with that energy. I don't know what it is. You have to figure that out. So,
yeah,
but
absolutely.
I think play, love, remember. I think if you wear, I did not make this hat. I purchased it online. I purchased responsibly online. But I would say if you wore this and you acted like nothing was going on, that would be even better.
Absolutely.
I believe that's how all this started.
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
Well, and to what you were saying, Gerald, in terms of like that breaking apart, right, and holding space for all of the emotions, so often we think about that idea of ascending being this thing that we have to get away from the dense emotions. We have to, work through all of our shadow work and be done with it and not have anything, to work through anymore. And that is not what it is to be human by any stretch, right? It's the ability to bring in joy even when we're sad, that ability to bring in love when we're afraid, that ability to bring in the frequencies together, as opposed to trying to completely transcend or get out of the tougher or the more dense frequencies.
Well, and sometimes it's like grieving, or the really hard stuff that people discuss. The only way to deal with that is to keep going through small steps, and some days. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to look at you, and you know who you are. And I'm even going to use the voice. You know who you are. Some days a small step is getting out of bed.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Other days it's getting everything on your checklist for today and the rest of the month done. Great. Stop giving yourself a hard time and meet yourself where you are. Yes, there are daily responsibilities that we have to do. Do those. The other thing is the strongest people know when they need to ask for help, and they ask, and then they ask again, and then they ask again. And the strongest people also, when somebody asks for help, will help them as best as they can. They don't step in and do the work for someone. They say something like, "How can I help? What do you need from me?"
Yeah.
And then they stop talking and activate their listening.
Support, not save.
That's
Say it
correct.
all
Love
the
it.
time. Support, not save.
Mm-hmm. I think I've shared this before on the show, but probably a long time ago. I had a friend who stayed with me for a while, and we would talk about like, how are you doing? And it was always level 5. Now, why we picked 5, I don't know, but it didn't matter what was going on. It was level 5. And the idea behind it was some days I might be 5 out of 5, and other days I might be 5 out of 5 million. But I'm doing the best I can do with the capacity I have in this moment. And it's got nothing to do with all the stuff that's going on around me, right? Really giving ourselves permission to be wherever we are and not comparing ourselves. Because I know, people always say, don't compare yourselves to others, compare yourselves to yourself. Don't compare, period.
Yeah.
Right? That idea of comparison, because my capacity right now versus my capacity an hour ago versus my capacity a week ago is going to fluctuate, right?
Yes.
But if I'm giving my all, whatever that is in this moment,
Mm-hmm.
that's all I can do. And I need
Yes.
to be okay with that and give myself permission to be that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Comparison is a thief of joy.
Nicely said.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Nicely said.
Yeah.
And I saw something recently on social media. I've been limiting my time with social media, but I saw something where a group of friends decided that no one was going to cry alone, and that if you needed to cry, you called somebody up and you said, I need to cry. And that activates that friendship to where it's like, okay, I'm in this mode to where all I'm going to do is I'm going to let you cry and I'm going to hold space. Talk
Mm-hmm.
about having cool friends. That's
Mm-hmm.
like really great.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and the best chatters are really good.
I know. Talk about like cool friends. I mean, you guys are rocking it over here.
Absolutely. I can't even keep up with the stuff going on here. This is a good one. There's lots of good stuff here,
By
guys. I don't want to.
and expectations. This is the civilized way. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be kind to yourself, right?
Yep. Everything is subjective. Yeah, and
Mhm.
the thing that's great. The thing that's great for me is if I don't understand somebody else's situation, and if I'm willing to hear the answer, then I'm willing to ask. So I have to be willing to hear an uncomfortable answer if somebody is honest with me, which I
Yeah.
hope people are. Um, and how are you today? Fine. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's
Right.
usually where I call them on it.
Yes. Yes. Oh, yes. And especially, we'll just say when Linda schedules her next reading with me and I'm wearing this, I'm going to be reflecting all of that back to her. And oh yeah, somebody said, it's like, once you know better, do better.
Yep.
Yes. Yep.
Jacqueline said that originally.
Yeah.
So she's repeating.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that makes such space for compassion too.
Thank you,
Self-compassion,
Maria.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. Yeah. We do this to ourselves all the time, where we learn something new or we gain an insight into something. And then all of a sudden we go, well, dang it, why didn't I do that? Or why didn't I this or that?
Yeah.
Right. And that whole like idea that hindsight is not 2020. Can we just like throw that saying completely out the window? Right. Because we don't know. We don't know that if we had done something different, it would have been a specific way. We know it would have been different, but we don't know how or what would actually have, come from that. So being able to really hold space for, once you know better, do better. It's like, okay, from this point forward, I have the ability to shift because I have a new awareness.
Yep.
Whatever happened before that, I did exactly what I needed to do or felt I needed to do in that moment with the information I had at that time. That's
Exactly.
it. Right?
Yeah. Like, forgive yourself, guys. Don't be too hard on yourselves.
Absolutely.
Ho'oponopono yourself. I know. Broken
Absolutely.
record. Yeah.
Well, and and I think, and it is one of those times is that confusion comes before understanding. When
Yeah.
you grow and change and you evolve or devolve or you move, the thing to remember is it's always confusing when you're in a new situation. Are you frustrated? Sure, because what you could do before, you can't. It's dealing with the transition. How am I going to continue to allow myself to adjust and to evolve and to get used to a new way of doing something? I have new awareness. What do I do with this now? And boy, I don't know about you. I mean, maybe I'm the underachiever here, but sometimes it takes me 3 or 4 times of awareness to go, oh, I could do something about that.
Yeah.
Duh.
Mm-hmm.
Like Madame Maru, even if it takes you a while to do better after right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and again, patience and love for ourselves. Like Gerald was saying earlier, we have these patterns. We have lifetimes of patterns. We have generational patterns that have come through, plus all of our past lives that are in these patterns. When it comes to breaking a pattern, I have clients do it all the time. Well, I've been at this for a month or two. Why is nothing changing? And it's like, wow, like give yourself some grace and some compassion. You've done the same thing for so long. It takes some time to shift and make something different. There was a video on YouTube, and you guys can look it up. I'd have to find it again. But it was this guy who decided that he was going to switch his bike handle around. So he'd learned how to ride a bike, rode a bike forever. But then one day decided, okay, when the bike handle turns right, the wheel's going to go left. And when it turns left, the wheel's going to go right. And then he videoed himself riding this bike. And even though he knew exactly what he needed to do in order to make the bike go one way or the other, that memory, that muscle memory, and that patterning that was in there, it took him so long to learn this new thing, because not only when we're breaking a pattern do we have to learn something new, we have to undo all the patterning that was there first. So we really need to give ourselves some compassion.
I also encourage, if you are a person who is experiencing this and you're telling people around you, this is new information for them and it's new information for you. They may not know what the heck to do with it. And so slowing down and understanding what you need, how am I going to use this new information is really very useful. And I can tell Jennifer's like going, yes. And, this is for entertainment purposes only. But once then you've got to go, what do I do with that? And then how do I let other people know that? And how to articulate it? Because if Kristen Louise had said she doesn't like crying in front of people because there's a lot of history about that. Well, part of what I need to understand is what kind of help do I need from people if I'm crying or if I'm feeling a certain way. And sometimes I have to sit down. I have to pause. I have to breathe. I have to get back into my body. I have to move a little bit. I have to take a drink of water. But then I have to go, okay, what do I need? Yeah. And sometimes the answer is, I don't know what I need. And that can give your professional or your friend an opportunity to simply reflect back what they're hearing. Because if you've been spending time in this gate 23 where things are splitting apart, it's like, well, I always put my keys in the same place, but they're not there anymore.
Yeah.
What do I do? I don't know what to do. And let's normalize saying, I don't know what I need to do. And then normalize the response to that is well, okay.
That's okay.
Let's talk about some things. because that saying, I don't know what I need to do isn't a flat fix it for me. It's a help me process it. This is new information. This is I've just translated this from a language that I don't speak, and I don't understand those idioms.
Yeah.
And they're hard.
Yeah.
They're hard.
Absolutely. And it's
By the way, I
okay
just
to
brought back
know.
the soapbox.
Yeah. I've been on it a couple times tonight.
It's a
Yeah.
soapbox is good.
Go for it. Soapbox it. Go soapbox it, Jennifer.
Well, no, I was saying I've been on it a couple times already tonight, but I think to what you're saying, it's so true. This idea that we know, right? Like the mind needs to know. And I know I've quoted this so often, the Tao, right? But true, like not knowing is true knowledge. Perceiving that we know is a disease. It is okay to not know. It is actually very good for us to not know.
Yes.
Right? And to be, again, my favorite, open and curious. Right? The moment that we can recognize, I don't know, we can hold space to be open and curious and see what else is possible. And suddenly we have capacity for shifting, right? That isn't there when we're stuck in the knowing.
Isn't that how some of the most amazing things have been discovered? Because people were simply open and aware. Yeah. Open and curious. Open and curious. What happens if I do this?
Yeah.
Ooh, I've never seen this before. And I love the idea is if you're dealing with a difficult situation and you want to mix it up and you really, this is just Gerald, for entertainment purposes only, come after me, YouTube. If you've got a challenging situation and you go, ooh, this is exciting. I've not had to do this before. I've never done this before. Suddenly, that thing that it thought it was going to challenge you, oh, okay, this person's going to come at me. Read an article yesterday. It was about talking about things smart people do. One of those things was being okay with saying, I don't know.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely. To what you were saying too, Gerald, that idea, I remember hearing this a long time ago, but the Chinese character for crisis is made up of two characters that can be interpreted as danger and opportunity. And so we have this ability to actually look at a crisis and we get to pick which way we're going to perceive that. But we don't always allow ourselves to do that, right? We just jump into, oh no, this is bad, as opposed to, okay, what can I do with this? How can I move from here?
Yeah. How we transmute the stuff, right? Is often through our perspective.
Timmy put something, I make my bed first thing when I get up in the morning. It's a local thing that I have control over. And I start the day on the correct foot. Simple things like this change my life. Yeah. I love that. And what's interesting, Timmy, is if suddenly during the day or something's not feeling right in the morning, you go, I didn't make my bed, then you have a choice to go make your bed and set things on a different path.
Yeah. Well, and that can be done with anything. I mean, having a routine can really help with that because you have something to go back to specifically. Yes. But at any point, and going through a lot of really hard stuff in my life for a while, I actually had as my screen, like main screen on my phone, is at any point you get to decide this is not how your story is going to end. Boom. Right? Like at any point we get to be able to make that shift. We just have to be able to be aware enough to know that we have the power to do that.
Yeah.
Yes. Self-reflection is key, right? The more we can self-reflect with the help of Gerald's helmet, then we can and the tiny hands, let's not leave those out. Then we can move forward and decide what we want to do with that information.
Right. And and I love this idea. I'm not Timmy, I hope you don't feel like I'm drawing too much attention to you. What you're saying is very wise, and it is what I think I know I need to get back into some of those self-care routines that are just I've let them fall to the wayside. And so, like I said, if I go, I make my bed every morning, which I sort of do, and I feel, suddenly I go, oh, I didn't make my bed this morning. I have a choice. I can move on without making my bed, or I can go make my bed, or I can sit there and worry about the fact that I didn't make my bed and then lose all of that momentum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I love
for this
that.
one.
Yeah.
You can start your day over again anytime.
Yep.
Sometimes I have a
Absolutely.
nap just to start my day over again
Yes.
because I can.
Nice.
Pause, reflect, and reset.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Madame Maru said that. And
Yeah.
boy, it's so good. And, I need to have Maru on for a show about that.
Every
Yeah.
day is a new beginning. Yep. And we are
Absolutely.
never the same person 2 days in a row, right? Because every time we learn something, we change.
Are
And
you
so
kidding?
we
I'm
are
not the same person I was this morning.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good day for you, Jen. You've
Hey,
been
we're
learning.
different people. We're all different people walking out at the end of the show as we than we were at the beginning of it. I mean, it's a beautiful
Exactly.
thing that we have the capacity to change.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if we think about change in that way, that we change every time we see something or learn something,
Yeah.
Mhm.
then maybe
Absolutely.
change isn't quite as bad as what humans think it is.
Well, and again, this is the energy, right? The transit that we're in right now.
Yep.
If we make it really complex, it's hard,
Mm-hmm.
right? If we simplify it, it doesn't have to be that hard.
Yeah.
Right? I know I've said this many times before, and I say it to clients often, right? This idea of, sorry.
You've changed her
Amazing.
forever.
I should have said, get ready, everybody. Buckle in because it's going to be a bumpy ride.
It's a beautiful ride of
Exactly.
light
I love
and
it.
reflection. It's exactly what we needed. But yeah, so this idea that the perceived level of difficulty plus our level of resistance equals our level of suffering. So we get to actually navigate that and choose in so many ways how much ease we're going to have, right? How much are we going to step into the simplicity of it? Or are we going to stay in that complex place that goes, this is too much, this is too hard, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So
And then
say that phrase again. Say that phrase again.
perceived level of difficulty
Uh-huh.
plus level of resistance
Mm-hmm.
equals level of suffering.
There's your short for the show.
Yes.
That 102. Boom.
Yep.
Boom.
Mic
So,
drop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, we missed the 5-minute warning about 8 minutes ago.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to interrupt because you guys are chatting.
I was like, I could just keep going with this conversation. Maybe this is like that 2-hour special, man.
So we're going to give you your home play, and we don't call it work because it is play.
It is play. And that's such a beautiful thing, play, right? Like Gerald, how you were saying everything is work, whether it's light work or whether it's shadow work or whatever. But we also have the capacity to make everything play, right? It's our labeling that difficult things, we don't like them, so they can't be play. But that doesn't necessarily make that statement true.
And hard work can be enjoyable.
Yes.
Hard work can bring you a great deal of joy.
There's a whole show in that.
There is.
Play versus work.
Play and work.
Play and work. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Take a deep breath.
Mm.
You guys ready for some reading?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here we go. Take a deep breath. You have been holding your breath, grandchild. It is time to fill your lungs with life-giving air and become one with the sacred element. Expand your chest. Take a moment and breathe deeply. In, out, Your breath is one with the breath of life. Have you noticed that your breathing occurs whether you think about it or not? The perfect breathing system keeps you alive on your earth walk and connects you with your spirit. Breathe. Focus your attention on the gentle in and out of your breath. How does it feel? Slow your breath down to the count of 5 for both the inhale and exhale. Notice how life breathes you. Give over to this gentle, balanced cycle. Receive the stillness of the sacred feminine as it emerges with every conscious breath. Can you feel the stillness fill your body and mind? Create space within your lungs and give gratitude for life. When you enter the sacred feminine space of stillness and gratitude, you open to life and remember your communion with creation.
I like that.
Mm-hmm. And so much, right, of what we've talked about today, that observer piece, that ability to take a step back, to reflect, to reset, all of that, to step into simplicity, taking a breath, finding that pause is a beautiful way to do that.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Final words? Gerald, what have you got going on today? Or today, this week? You probably have something tonight. You often do.
I have a couple of things tonight. I actually have over on Val Dragonfly's Crystals, there's the Mystic Four, and then there's full moon readings. That is being simulcasted with Ramon, Moon Scarab, Linda de Gonzalez, and myself. Then tomorrow, Tuesday, is the Back and Forth with Jamie and Gerald, the one that we're talking about the Bibles.
Mm-hmm.
And lots of good stuff. So I might actually show up tomorrow and do another video where I'm showing some of my creative process. So
Awesome.
who knows? Like
Beautiful.
and subscribe. That way you can find out.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Don't forget to like and subscribe to all 3 channels, please. That would be lovely. Jen, what have you got going on? You have some stuff this week, I believe.
I did a recording last week that I'm hoping is going to be live probably by the end of the month, maybe the beginning of next one. So when that comes out, I'll let you guys know. That'll be on the YouTube channel as well. So if you like and subscribe, you're going to see it. That was a great conversation with Zen. I don't have any other lives coming up this week. I'm really pushing on trying to get the books done. So hopefully...
Which book? Is this 1 or 5?
2. So we're working on the Lyran story. So that one is still, going through its editing process. Then I have another one. Actually, we kind of talked about a little bit of it today. It's Spheres of Consciousness. It's a book and journal. And it really does bring home actually a lot of what we talked about today in terms of how do we hold space for those denser energies and really shifting our consciousness from this idea of frequencies being a ladder that we have to transcend, that we have to kind of get away from the denseness. It's about how do we embrace that. So we're shifting from this kind of ladder analogy to a spherical understanding where that density is something that is there, but as we expand into other levels of consciousness, we can hold that differently. And so it kind of walks you through how can you embrace these denser energies in a way that brings in love and joy and, creative energy and all of that. So I'm hoping that'll be out soon.
Beautiful. And then we have support group this weekend.
And we have support group.
So that's Beyond Being Human support groups.
So, beyondbeinghuman.org/support-groups. Everybody's welcome to join. You can sign up, get the Zoom link, reach out if there's any issue with the sign up. But it's on Zoom. It's not recorded. It's not live.
It's not live.
And you get to hang out with Tanis and I, and on Zoom and chat and talk about your journey. And we kind of just hold space for whatever needs space held for.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. So that's a great show, guys. We had lots of laughs.
Woo.
Lots of stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Final thoughts?
Links are below.
Links are below. Don't forget to
So-
like and subscribe.
Yep.
And
You know,
Mhm.
I say if you can wear a disco helmet, go for it.
absolutely.
I mean,
Mhm.
And watch for the TarotStache shop. Maybe there will be new
Yes.
merchandise coming.
Yes.
there you go.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, thank you all so much for sharing your energy and your insights. Thank you, the two of you. I love you both. And it's amazing to have you all together today. Lots of love, everyone.
Bye
now.
everyone.